Hello, welcome back to Divine Partnership Coaching. This is actually going to be a super short blurb on some useful, I'm going to call them tools, but bits of information that are valuable and have been extremely helpful to me and others that have worked with me or that I've coached, in terms of learning about themselves for personal growth, learning about any divine partners that you are currently growing with, whether in separation or not. And also, it's a good way to begin getting yourself out of codependent energy, to start to have a project of sorts to look at. And what I would say is start with things like Myers-Briggs and Tony Robbins DISC, DISC, and get into the Enneagram types and spiral dynamics integral. And if your spiritual path is in alignment with it, also get into astrology, because all of these things, they work together to help you get, and 16 personalities is pretty good too, and as is the BDSMtest.com or .org or something like that. A lot of these things can help you understand who you are, especially if you've done any of them while in relationship, especially any sort of codependent or toxic relationships. Go back and do them again after separation, or after and then again after you've had some time on your own and really examine yourself and think about yourself, because a lot of these are like self-assessments, and it's really valuable to get in and dig in and learn who you are, and then do your best to take a stab at not a stab, excuse me, take a gentle look at who you think that your partner is, if you know who your divine masculine or feminine is, or if you have yet to meet them, you can feel them coming, but you've yet to meet them, then look at what is most compatible with you. And, really, especially things like Enneagram types and astrology, they do something that a lot of others do not, which is show you your core fears and things of that nature, so you can really dig in and understand what you're, like for me, I'm an Enneagram type 8, and one of my core fears is being hurt, being seen as weak, and feeling like I have to teach people lessons in order to teach them how not to hurt me. And it was through learning a lot of that stuff that I was able to learn to put down my armor and soften who I am without breaking my own boundaries. And in a similar way, like knowing with astrology, like I have some Scorpio placements and some specific placements that I have kind of a superpower with knowing secrets effectively. Like I know when people are being deceitful, when they're hiding things. It's creepy to a lot of people. It was creepy to me for a while. And I also have a keen ability to, it's like the equal opposite side of that, to know the truth, to spot the truth, to know it before even it has been said to me. And I have unique ways to communicate with people that, I mean, I can use the truth to help and hurt, to create and destroy. And one of my shadow powers, which is like a superpower, is to hurt with the truth. But which can, I mean, if I'm not in a good space, I can create my own messes and my own bad karma with that. But I can also use that ability to help break masks of codependency and armor that have been built up by, mother father wounds and traumas of the past. And so I wouldn't have known that, though, if I had not gone through and really done the work to look at myself and to grow and to understand the energies. Like spiral dynamics integral is a really good one to understand, both where we are collectively as human beings, and also where you stand in the collective. Like, what energy are you in? Are you in, there's an orange meme, which is like, achiever self, like you still care about the court of public opinion, but it is also a stage of enlightenment. And, getting into, green space, the green meme, which is like spirituality and understanding a connection of things, and then hitting, there's a tier two, which is when you start to integrate and realize that everything has a piece. Every person has a piece. This is where, like, you get to the space where you realize that whoever your karmics are, whether you are the person in relationship with the karmic, or your partner is in relationship with them and it's third party, whether they are family, friends, coworkers, or whether they're inanimate things, addictions, codependencies, things like that, you recognize that each piece is important. You don't want to get rid of any pieces. You need those pieces. And you learn things like, or you start to integrate information like, okay, if I am reducing myself to only spending time with one or two people, like say your partner and your kids, then you are actually reducing the way that the universe can bring you contrast, which you need in order to feel stimulated and to grow as a person and to manifest things that you want. That means that all of your contrast, good and bad, comes from those people, and that can actually, because you've removed any other sources of contrast from your life, that can end up ruining those relationships. And so you recognize the need for having other people come in and be be someone that you can, well, I was going to say, it even shows you that you can choose it. Like, you don't need people to come in and, like, piss you off, but you do need people that can call you on your shit, or who can trigger you in a kind, authentic way that is important for your growth without ulterior motives. Like, that's a valuable piece. It's just as valuable as recognizing that, the janitor who comes in and cleans the building at the end of the day is just as powerful and just as equal as the CEO at the top who signs all the paychecks. And likewise, that the customer is important in there. And even wider than that, thinking about the people that put together and made the vacuums and the brooms and the garbage cans that the janitor uses, and the garbage cans and the paper that the CEO uses. Like, all of these pieces are valuable and important, and we have each of those pieces within us and around us, and we need all of those things. So take this as a step, well, whether you're divine masculine, divine feminine, or karmic, that it is important to understand who you are in as many ways as possible. And because we're such a creative species, we have all of these fun tests and things that we can use and take what resonates from, and toss out the rest, and use it to decide in each moment, who am I? Who have I been? Who do I want to be? And just be curious in each moment. But we can use those tools, those assessments, to figure out what we've learned so far, where our traumas are, where our strength points are, our growth points are, and things of that nature. And doing that can be very healing in terms of, releasing codependencies, which typically for divine masculine, divine feminine, and the karmics that are drawn into their healing, is pretty primary in terms of needing to be healed. That's a lot of the reason why separations and big tower moments had to happen between divine feminine, divine masculine, and also between whichever of you has the karmic that you have to separate yourself from. It's about healing that codependent energy and giving yourself projects that have to do with you and your growth. And yes, they can be in alignment with what your divine partner would also like, but they should not be projects that are just about them and all about them. You got to get away from focusing just on them. So, and I'll do another video about that, but for right now, look into these tools and find some of your own tools. Make some of your own tools. Assess yourself. Work on yourself. Do self-growth. Take the hermit energy and know that as you do that, your partner reflects you, and they do too.